how you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. So here I am again, doing another art hack video, my second in a week. I had so much fun doing my art hack video last week that I was like, you know what? I really need to do a part 2 whilst the excitement is still fresh and whilst I still have a few art hacks I wasn't able to fit into the last video. I also want to let you know that my friend Jackie has just uploaded her video today as well. She's tested out a bunch of like crafts and hacks from Pinterest, so I'm going to link it in the description down below if you want to go check her out. Since Jackie and I both love bears for different reasons, go and comment a bear emoji on her video. I made this in my last video. I thought it was really cool. People are like, no, that's a craft project. That is not a hack. And like, yes, it was technically a craft project, but the hack wasn't the project itself. The hack was more using a shipping tube for the pen. Like, that was the art hack part. I would not have thought to use a shipping tube. That's not its intended purpose, which is what a hack is. It's a tip or a trick for doing something, but people didn't like that I put something too crafty into an art hack testing video. So today's video is going to be entitled Testing Pinterest Hacks and Tricks. Starting off, this is a cool little trick, but this one in particular I thought was really, really fun. It was a little trick to get rid of art block. Like, if you're not really sure what you want to draw, this is probably one of my favorites that I've seen. It was such a good idea. Grab a random paint sample and paint or draw whatever the name is. And I really hate that whoever posted this blocked off the name of the person that made it. Like, this is clearly a video, but I don't know who came up with it. So if you know, please, please, please tell me. I will tag them because I don't know who the original creator of this trick was. But basically, they say get a free paint sample chip from like Home Improvement Shop. I thought I would add my own little spin to this and try something new. So instead of driving to go get a paint chip, I looked at my selection of craft paints and remembered that these have really unique, cool names of their own. And I have little paint chip sized sheets of paper here. So I thought I could take one of these colors, paint the entire background with that color, and then draw over the top whatever the name of the color is. So it's the same kind of concept. So first that came to mind, because of the season, I am wearing a cardigan despite the fact it's like 85 degrees outside. This one is called Jack-O-Lantern by Apple Barrel. So I thought, hey, let's paint a sheet of this paper and we'll draw a jack-o'-lantern on top. These are like 50 cents. They're super, super cheap. Craft paint always has a fun, different, unique name. And yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and paint on this. Okay. This also is not my desk. This is actually a big sheet of white paper. You can see the Mod Podge from last week. I'm keeping this here because I think a lot of people were worried that I was like painting directly on my desk or using an X-Acto knife. I actually had 2 sheets of paper here. My desk was not touched, but it is, however, dirty that I have not cleaned it yet. So I'm gonna go ahead. Oh shoot, that is way too much paint. Let's put that back in. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and paint this. I think this is a really fun idea because you get to work outside the box a little bit. You know, if you're struggling for ideas, which happens to me very frequently, this way you can just come up with a new fresh idea. Again, that is not on my desk, that's a piece of paper. So we're gonna put this here to dry. I actually think it would be fun to use gouache on top of this. I did just buy myself a new set of gouache. This is not sponsored by Arteza, by the way. I know I keep pulling out Arteza products, but this is not sponsored by Arteza. It is, however, sponsored by ShipStation. I'm going to talk about them more later in the video, but ShipStation are amazing if you're a small business. Essentially, it allows you to create shipping labels for selling your products. So for example, I have Shopify, I have Etsy, I have Squarespace. ShipStation allows me to, when I sell a product, have one platform where all of my orders go and I can ship labels directly from ShipStation. It's so cool. I'm going to talk about them a little bit more later in the video, but I bought this new set of Arteza gouache. Ooh, look at these. Okay, so we're gonna want the orange. That would be cool. Orange. We're gonna want like a little green. I feel like it's not Halloween time for me until I've actually painted some sort of pumpkin. I do it every year. Okay. This is red. These are very nice. Pink. There's red. Okay. My Himi wash just completely dried up on me. So I bought some from Arteza because I like their products. Cool. I think those are mostly the colors I'm going to use. I'm going to leave these covered just because I don't want them to dry out on me if I can help it. So we have our dried paint chip here, which is just the craft paint. Okay. Let's draw. Okay, there's our very evil looking pumpkin. I'm gonna go with this orange here. If you're an artist who's watching this, or someone who has a small business online, or just a general interest in selling products, I wanted to tell you about something that is so hugely beneficial to literally anyone that has an e-commerce business. It's called ShipStation, and basically it's a platform that allows you to integrate all of your order fulfillment into one place. ShipStation is kindly sponsoring today's video, and as always, I promote brands that I love or use. So if you're like me and you sell products on multiple platforms, like for me, I sell on Etsy, I also sell on Shopify. ShipStation basically allows me to see all of my orders in one place across all of the platforms and print my labels from there. It basically integrates with over 180 of the really popular e-commerce platforms that you see online. Marketplaces like Amazon, it also integrates with things like eBay. I actually started using ShipStation years ago. It was just so easy to automate my shipping labels. It not only saves you money on shipping, but it's the fastest and most affordable way to ship your products. You can actually get discounts up to 89% through USPS, UPS, and DHL Express. It has tons of features and automations. It's just a fantastic platform that I strongly recommend if you are anyone that sells on the internet. Technology is always upgrading and getting newer and getting better, and ShipStation is no different to that. You want to keep your website and your selling platform seamless, automated, and easy. Lead your e-commerce business into the future. Switch to ShipStation today. Go to shipstation.com/ChloeRoseArt to sign up for your free 60-day trial. That is shipstation.com/ChloeRoseArt. Okay, so this was supposed to be very quick and simple, but in typical me fashion, I've just made it more difficult for myself and taken longer to make it more detailed, but it will be worth it when I'm done. We're gonna stick the little stalk on top and call it a day. Okay, so here is our little, what was supposed to be 10-minute jack-o'-lantern. That ended up taking me like 45 minutes, but here he is, a little jack-o'-lantern. This was so much fun, okay? I do this immediately. Like, if you don't know what to paint, you're lost for inspiration, go at random, pick a paint, check the name of it, and then draw what it said. So here we go, jack-o'-lantern, cool. Okay, so for this next hack, I have seen this before, but I'm not entirely sure if it works. I'm guessing it does. Like, I'm pretty sure that it does, but it basically says mix paint and liquid soap, then paint all over the paper and let it dry. Now, it doesn't say if they use like oil pastels underneath. It kind of looks like crayons or oil pastels or something. I don't know if it matters, so I just used some paint pens on mine. So got my little square of like different colors. Again, this is a paint pen, not oil pastels. So I'm going to see if it works with this. If it doesn't, I'm going to have to seek out my very unused oil pastels because I hate them. So I have some liquid dish detergent. Mine's blue. I don't know if it matters or not, but I'm going to try it with the blue. Then I'm going to get some, I think, acrylic paint. Again, it doesn't tell me, but I'm guessing it's acrylic. Let's try carbon black. This is a slightly more expensive paint, but it is like a thicker, like heavy body acrylic. So hopefully it works. Okay, then we're just gonna mix it. I don't know how much. Okay, let's paint. I really don't know if this is going to work, to be honest. I don't know if I've got the consistency right. I think it's right, but I'm not 100%. I don't know. I feel like the consistency of this is not going to be good. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work. Okay, that's that. I'm worried it's too thin, but they use like craft paint, so I'm guessing it's fine. But this is how mine looks. If this doesn't work, I'm going to attempt to use craft paint with it instead. But this is what we've got. I'm going to wash my hands because I'm covered in paint. Our paper is now dry, and I'm gonna see if it works. I'm not too sure, I'm gonna be honest with you, but we'll see. Wait, it is working. Okay, I'm relieved because I didn't think it would. But I'm just writing my name. It is a little bit dodgy, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if the consistency was overly right in what I did. However, you can see that it does work. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big fan of this one, but I think it's a fun way to be creative, especially maybe if you have kids and you want to do like a fun, quick activity with them. You could just do something like this and they would have a lot of fun. Not too messy either if they have like a little like something to scrape it with. I would just recommend using a lighter color, and most likely you need a much thicker layer than what I used. It did work what I did, but I think you definitely would need something that's a little bit thicker. We're gonna give it a 7 because it does work. I'm just not a big fan of it. Okay, so for this next art trick, this is definitely not a hack. This is just like a cool idea. Try to create a miniature fantasy world from my handprint. So they painted their hand, put it down on some paper, and then they drew like a little mystery world as part of their hand, which I thought was a really cute idea. Like, I've not seen anyone do this before. I just thought it was a clever idea and I wanted to give it a try. So I have my paper right here. I want to use some craft paint because it's easier to get off. I'm gonna take my rings off. I see now why my friends hardly ever wear their wedding rings in their art videos, because I've got to constantly take mine off to not get paint all over them. Gonna paint my hand. Let's do my right hand and then we'll paint it on. I think there's a little bit too much paint on there. Let's try removing some of it because we want to have quite a bit of like added texture from my hand. That's sort of the whole point. We don't want to just have like whatever that is on it. We could make a little alien planet though. We could do that. Okay, let's try again. Okay, that looks better. We've got a bit more hand texture. I'm gonna go wash my hands, but that's looking better. Right, I've been seconds to getting paint on my cardigan about 16 times now, so I finally changed. Wait for my handprint to dry, and I think this gives us a nice canvas. I stand by, oh crap, I got black paint on my shirt. Damn it! Stand by this. This is my favorite fine liner black pen. It's by Tombow. I do not know what it's called. It's just calligraphy pen. It's just amazing. I love this. Everything I need to do needs drying. Let me get my hair dryer. Okay, so our hand is now dry and I'm gonna go ahead and kind of do what they did and do some like trees and things like that. I think it might be quite fun to do a little house on the top here. And then this one looks a little bit like a mountain and some trees. Maybe I'll do like a little tree on top. I think this would be cool, some like ivy hanging down. This could be like water maybe. This is such a fun idea. Like, I don't know if they were the original person that came up with that idea, but I feel like it's such a good idea. So it's like a little waterfall. And then we'll do some more trees, because you can't go wrong with trees. There's a tree. There's another tree. Not being very creative at the moment. What could this be? Maybe like a little ladder. That could be a little ladder up the mountain side. Let's see this, but we're gonna have a really long ladder that's way too big compared to the tiny little mountain underneath it. None of this is good perspective because the mountain is smaller than the ladder. Don't judge it, just go with it. We could have like a walkway. That would be nice. Tiny little rope bridge. We've done a bridge from one side to the other that I wasn't showing on camera the whole time. We could do a guy that's fallen, a little stick man who's like, ah. So there's that. And then we've got another tree. If you spend more time on this, you absolutely could come up with some really clever ideas. But it's giving like reverse coloring book style because you're kind of having to look at it and see things, which I love. I think this is a really, really fun idea. We could do some like stalagmites and stalactites because I don't know what the difference is. Another tree and then another tree. This can be a grassy part. And then I feel like we need some sort of slide to get down to this area. In fact, this one can be a little planet. How about that? This is a wobbly, strange planet right here. And then that planet has a moon. And then there's going to be another planet that actually looks like a planet. And then we're going to do a little slide all the way down. Let's do... That again is so ginormous. It's bigger than the trees and the mountains, apparently. It's a slide for giants from Giantland. So there we are. There is our handprint turned into a world. It's actually really fun. I 10 out of 10 recommend this. So much fun. Great idea. Great way to be creative and unique. And I honestly only spent like 15 minutes on that. So if you spent a longer period of time, like a good hour, you could really, really, really get a lot done. So far, I will say, I love my little pumpkin. I'm actually happy with him. I'm actually gonna write jack-o'-lantern on my pumpkin so I remember what the paint name was. Okay, so for this last activity, I am really excited to do this because it's something that I wanted to do in my last video, but I knew it would take me a while, so I just left it for the next video. So I thought it made perfect sense to have it as an activity in this video because it's not really a hack, but it might be if you don't know that you can do this, because to me, I was unaware. I love this girl. I follow her on Instagram. And she makes the coolest, funkiest spaces ever. And she made this literal gorgeous mirror with air dry clay, a hot glue gun, and some acrylic paint. Now, this is where I initially thought like the hack part comes into play because I personally have never seen this. And I always thought if you have clay or air dry clay, you paint it after it's dried. However, what she did really blew my mind because she mixed acrylic paint, like acrylic craft paint, with the air dry clay so that it actually like made the color by default and she didn't have to paint it afterwards, which to me was like mind-blowing. And I actually did look up to see if this was something that's quite common to do. People like use markers, use glitter glue, use food coloring, adding it to the clay, and it says knead-in colorant, which I think by that they mean like acrylic paint, because other than that, it just recommends painting it afterwards. But I got some air dry clay from Amazon and I have this giant mirror that I bought. And today we are going to be making these gorgeous flowers that she made for her mirror because I just think it's the coolest thing ever. Okay, so I think color-wise, I'm gonna go with definitely this blue because I love that blue. I'm gonna do purple, I think yellow. Okay, so I picked these colors to mix into the clay. I do have black paint on my shoulder, by the way. I've just noticed. I'm really annoyed about it. Oh, this looks so freaking satisfying. Look at that. That is so, oh my gosh, that's so satisfying. Okay, let's make the purple ones first because I feel like I want to do purple. I'm certainly not going to make them all the way. There's already a hair on it. Okay, you know what? For the sake of the video, I'm going to stain the heck out of my hands. So we have a little ball and I'm just going to put a bit of purple. That might have been too much purple, actually. Works great though. Like, I can't criticize that. Look how well that worked. Very purple. It's pulling the purple out for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if that's gonna dry funny, but it's sticking to my hands. I don't know why. Okay, I'm gonna try with water this time to see if it stops it sticking to my hands. Because again, I've never used air dry clay before. Okay, I think the water is helping. It's just hard to try and keep it into a smooth shape. I'm very confused. This is like genuinely one of the most annoying things I've ever done already. I should probably be using a container for them because they keep sticking to the paper. I already hate this stuff and I don't ever want to use it again. I want to use some light pink or light lilac. Is this dried out? No, it's not. Okay, this one's more of a lavender. I actually think I should have grabbed more. This is horrible. Okay, so water is the solution, but it is very slow going to try and make it smooth. Okay, there's another ball. I think what I'm going to do, let's just do a ton of purple for now. I think I'm going to split this one in half, actually. That's a good one. That can attach to that one. This one needs a bit of help. Okay, that one's fine. That can do that. And then we have another one here, which we're gonna... Cool. These are, in fact, not as neat as what she did, but they look kind of cool. Okay, I'm getting the hang of this now. I'm getting the hang of it. This stuff sucks. I hate it. I mean, it doesn't suck. It serves a purpose for some people, but for me, I just don't like it. It's sticking to everything. I think I'm going to do like 3 or 4 flowers and then just do it up the side a little bit and just see how that looks. Because I saw some people just do like part of their mirror instead of the whole thing. Cool. That goes nicely like that. Nice little flower. Now I'm going to wash my hands so I can do some yellow. Luckily, that one's come out okay. I'm leaving that one right there, and I'm not touching it now. Of course, I did this on a day I ran out of paper towels as well. Now we're gonna do some pink. I really love the colors that she used, so I'm trying to sort of somewhat recreate it. Okay, like that one a lot. The more paint that you put in with the air dry clay, the smoother it is. Like before, I wasn't probably putting enough paint in it. The only hard thing is trying to make it shaped right, because it doesn't smooth very easily like Play-Doh. Okay, that is nice. That will look good pushed together. In fact, I might try it now. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, kind of. It's a bit messy, but the concept is there. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like this one. I'm gonna change it up because I don't really like it. By the way, I do keep washing my hands in between touching them, but it's not always the most effective.
Okay, so it's the next day and they have fully dried. They are a little messy, but I see now why she had 2 other friends helping her, because they all worked on like 1 color each. I tried with gloves, but it sticks to the gloves. I also washed my hands every single time I used a color. Because it's sticky, it's really hard to get off. Like I still have some on my arm right now. I'm gonna apply it just like a few to the side. If I really, really want to, I might make some more in the future and do it all the way around, but I feel like that's a little much for my decor, so I'm just gonna do like a few on the side here and see how it looks. I'm gonna do it like that. Okay, so because I used different types of craft paint, some were satin finish, some were matte finish, some were glossy finish, they all ended up looking kind of different. So I decided to just put like a gloss coat over all of them. I feel like this would be perfect in like a preteen's bedroom. But this has now unlocked a bunch of new possibilities for me because I've realized that it looks very unique. I've realized I could probably try to do quite a few different things with this air dry clay and the paint. I hated working with it, but the finish that it gives is very unique. So this is how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If there's anything you would like to see me try in the future, whether it be different hacks, different crafts, feel free to let me know. You can also message me over on Instagram. And yeah, for now, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves and I will see you in the next video.